Hey guys, Derek with Blue Collar Chess, and in today's episode, I'm going to discuss this book here, What Chess Coaches Don't Tell You. I bought this on ChessBase from Everyman Chess, back when you could do that. You can't do that anymore. Now they want to push their books on Chessable and I believe Forward Chess are their formats. I really liked it on ChessBase because I'd already bought ChessBase. I had the program. I really like being able to buy books for ChessBase. So I'm a very disappointed customer when it comes to that. But this book that I bought is fantastic. On the whole, I don't think the book is necessarily geared towards what we call the adult improver or just the improver who my channel is devoted to. Basically, I want to help people find resources so they can stop wasting time if that's what they want to do. Some people like researching this stuff. I actually like researching adult improver stuff. I enjoy it. So I'm sure I'm not the only person out there. So back to this book, though. This book has got 10 chapters. I'm going to show you the chapters here. And here are the chapters. Working hard with a set purpose, defining goals and developing a plan to achieve them, analyzing your games, creating an opening database, will to win essential endgames, tactics and studies, slowing down, training games, tension to exchange or not to exchange, and facts for chess parents or those new to competitive chess. Okay, so each chapter serves a certain purpose. There are some chapters that I think are better for the adult improver, or for just an improver. I don't actually like the adult improver term, but everybody uses it. It's out there. Everybody knows what I mean by it. I think of it just as an improver. Anybody who's kind of on their own, or it doesn't have to be on your own, but I kind of view it like on your own, you're trying to find the right sources to help that journey go a little bit smoother, So, number one, that chapter really just kind of talks about why working hard with a set purpose is important. It's a good chapter. It's a good way to start off the book. I don't find it the most important chapter of the book because that's not what I need. I know at this point I can't study like a gymnast would study, right? I don't have the time. I've got too many responsibilities. So for me, I need to know like the core things that I need to do to get a little bit better. Number two, defining goals and developing a plan to achieve them. That was a really good chapter, and I think you have to tweak it a bit if you're more of the adult improver, but it's definitely they definitely kind of set that down. They'll show you like a little spreadsheet, and what that means is they were using like tournaments for that. Actually, I'll just show that real quick. I don't want to show too much of the book because I don't want to give too much of it away because I think people should buy this book. It's a good book. And unfortunately, right here. So here's like an example plan that they're showing, and so they got tournament on one side. The dates of the tournaments are. You probably don't need that, but like the location again, you don't need that. But the purpose and the results. So focus on what you're doing. So the tournament is what they're doing to improve. I think that's another thing. Like people don't realize that sometimes. Like going on these over the board tournaments is just a great way to improve. So anyway, so they're talking about the tournament as the actual training plan, and this is the purpose of the tournament for you. So they go in the first one, playing up an open section to get more experience playing higher rated players. Then the result was played 4 higher rated players and scored 2.5 points. So again, then they just go on. The next purpose was playing in my appropriate rating section in top 10. So basically, they want to make it to the top 10. Gold to win my section. Okay, yep. So then the result was scored 4 to 5 and 1 second place. So it just goes on like that. You guys can obviously read this. Again, I don't want to give away too much of the book because it's a worthwhile buy, At this point, I would recommend the actual paper copy. Back to contents. So that was that chapter. Analyzing your games. This is a good chapter as well. I think it's one of the best. I'm just going to show you like one thing that I thought was really interesting. So they break it down to if you don't have a chess coach, if you have a chess coach, and other ideas and suggestions. If you don't have a chess coach, so it goes, enter your games in some fashion, such as with chess base or with a game analysis feature on one of the online chess playing platforms. I recommend Chess. It's just the study program there is fantastic. Slowly move through your game and identify all the critical moments. They do go through how to do that. I've got a video on that too. A lot of people do, so you can just research that on YouTube. So for each critical moment, find better moves or variations for both black and white. If you're using chess.com, they have that function where they'll show you like your brilliant moves and your bad moves and all that stuff. You can just use that, honestly, and they will show you where your critical moments are. And it was number 4, add words to describe the game as if you are telling a story where there is a beginning, exciting things that happen in the middle, and then an ending with a few things we can learn. When you reach the end of the game notation, write down 2 to 3 things that you learned from this game or what this game was about. Now you can turn on the chess engine to see if it agrees with the critical moments that you identified and to see if you miss any critical moments. If you miss some critical moments, review them carefully along with the engine's suggested better moves or variations and try to understand why these variations are better ones. Again, how you would do that is you would go through the variation. If the computer suggests something that you don't understand, play against it. Make a move, see what it does. And that if you play the next 2-3 moves out and kind of see a couple variations, you'll get a pretty good idea of what the computer's trying to tell you. So now let's go back to so again, this is a great chapter. The analyzing your games chapter was fantastic. So was creating an opening database. I'm not going to show every chapter, but creating an opening database there. They kind of try to get you towards using a database as opposed to like reading chess books on openings and stuff like that, which I fully agree with. I don't think you need an actual opening book. I don't think they're terrible or anything, but I also think that they're mass marketing. I think there's a lot of money to be made because people think they're going to get a quick win out of the next new opening. Anyway, so moving on to number 5, Will to Win, Essential Endgames. I kind of like briefly went through that one. There isn't one bad chapter in this book, but the ones I thought the most important are the ones I'm going to be discussing the most here in this review. Tactics and Studies. I found this one very, I wouldn't say eye-opening because they kind of regurgitate, but kind of just say the same thing that other people will tell you. The time-tested advice of do your tactics, but really practice your tactics. So instead of doing 100 in a day, do just 10 and do them well. And actually try to look for the variations, try to understand why you didn't see certain variations, that type of stuff. Chapter 7, Slowing Down. What that is, they're trying to give you a thought process while you're making a move. I don't agree with the thought process 100%, but it's a pretty good thought process, especially if you don't have a thought process. To follow that, there's nothing wrong with that, and that's also a very good chapter. Chapter on training games. It kind of goes through why you should play training games, why you shouldn't play training games, that type of stuff. I don't think they ever say why you shouldn't play training games, but basically they go into paying somebody to play training games with you, or just having somebody a little bit stronger or somebody at your level, and what kind of training games, whether they're straight up, let's just play a game, nobody knows which opening anybody's going to play, or you set up the position first and you play out those training games. Then chapter 9, Attention to Exchange or Not to Exchange. It's kind of more of a positional type chapter. Again, that's another chapter that I just kind of skimmed just so I can say that I've read the book and I've looked at the chapters. Don't think it's the most important, to be honest with you. Out of the book, I think there's a. I think the purpose of this book really is to get people kind of a smooth way to practice and train, or to kind of show them a way to do it. So with that said, so I think there are like 3 or 4 chapters that are absolutely priceless in this book. Then they have chapter 10's like facts for chess parents or those new to competitive chess. Again, all good advice in that chapter. There's nothing crazy in any of these like chapters. But again, I think chapter 1 kind of highlights how hard it is to go to those next levels. So that's a good chapter just for that. Number 2, defining goals and developing a plan to achieve them is also good. Also is going to show you like how much work you're going to have to do. And it really is it's a little bit daunting if you're the adult improver. And again, this book I feel like is more geared towards that person who wants to become a title player. And I don't mean just like the person who just started learning how to play and then like, oh, I want to become an IM. And how unrealistic that is sometimes. This is more for that person who actually has a legitimate chance, who's going to have to train hard and work very hard to do that. Analyzing your game, I think, is for everybody. I think it's a great chapter. Get the book just for that, and the creating and opening database, and very good advice in both those chapters. And then I would say tactics and studies and slowing down and trading games are the next things that are just like very invaluable, advice on. But all in all, it's a really good book. Every chapter is worth reading. Yeah, so this is Derek with Blue Collar Chess. I'm going to start doing more reviews like this. I try to do books that I've read completely. Sometimes I can't because I do kind of a habit of starting things and moving on to new things. But I think just by starting something, you can kind of show people what the author's trying to do, regardless of that. But anyways, Derek with Blue Collar Chess. Hope you guys have enjoyed this, and see you next time.